Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? You're gonna have to forgive me. I don't know if it's showing up too much with my voice, but I did not actually get the most sleep last night. It was actually kind of nuts. It was to the point where I was like, oh man, should I just cancel the stream or like reschedule it? But it ended up working out all right. The short version is getting old is no fun, and Bear threw out his back yesterday, and that's the first time it's ever happened to either of us. I don't know, we're approaching our 30s here and our bodies are like, no. No, it's time for you to have the back problems. But anyway, he is doing all right. We were just worried for a bit there because his back was in a lot of pain. I was like, oh my god, do I need to take you to the emergency room? But no, it ended up being all right. But yeah. Oh, there's so many people. Thanks for coming by, y'all. I'm glad that you're interested in hanging out with me while I ramble to you all and hang out on this cozy Saturday. Yeah, I know. I don't know, I sure felt old when we were like, oh my god, did you throw out your back? We weren't even doing anything. Like, we were, we'd gone shopping and we came back and we're like carrying stuff up and down stairs. And I don't know, I guess like angles were weird on holding boxes and stuff, so. Ugh. So anyway, he's resting right now. If anything gets worse, we can always go to an urgent care, but it just seems like his back is a little torqued, so. We'll just, yeah, just let him rest a little bit, and, I'm glad that we've got, like, a bunch of, like, I don't know, we've got, like, a bunch of food kicking around the house, so we can always order stuff. Yeah, I don't know, that was the thing I was worried about, is maybe he had, like, a pinched nerve or something, especially with, like, the amount of pain, but I felt, like, the back muscles just to double check and see what was going on, and no, it does seem like it's kind of knotted up, so. Ugh, it's no good. Getting old is not fun. Oh, but yeah, thanks for coming and hanging out. I figure this will just be a nice chill stream. I appreciate that from you all. I'll definitely pass that along. I kept like asking him like, all right, do you want me to like, you know, I can totally cancel the stream. Like, I'm not about to, like, let you be sad and in pain by yourself. And he's like, no, I'm gonna get some sleep and, like, rest my back a little bit. So, anyway, after the stream, I'll go swing by, and he's got my phone number, too, so he can text me if he needs anything. But, yeah, he was pretty insistent that he was all right, just that we're both old. So. Yeah, besides that though, instead of just talking about random back pains forever, I hope everyone is doing alright. I kind of dropped a surprise video on you all yesterday. I wasn't actually sure if I was going to be able to finish that gameplay video or not. Just, you know, I was thinking about maybe putting it out later, but then it just kind of felt like there were so many updates that needed to be made that I had to go and do stuff, so. Oh, I'm glad that you've been enjoying Blue Archive. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I definitely like it a lot, so I'm happy that I can share my passion with it with you all. So, and also I'm sorry to those of you who are in Asia and Australia that it's very late your time. I appreciate you all. You all don't have to stick around for the whole thing. I know it's kind of late where you all are at, so. But yeah, I'm pretty glad that I was able to finish that video and get that all uploaded, because it felt like it was prescient enough that I really needed to make an update. And even then, I had to make a pinned comment because I totally forgot about the bounty shop, because that was a brand new thing, and with tactical challenge as well. It's a lot. Oh, geez. Yeah, no, that was when I was looking over things, like time zones and everything. It did seem like it was quite late. So 11 p.m. in Hong Kong does track. Ugh. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, I know. Isaac, I know that you're in Australia, so unfortunately it's going to be pretty rough for you all, but I'm glad that it's a nice cozy time kind of on a late Saturday for you all. Yeah, no, seriously, thanks for swinging by. Don't apologize whatsoever. It's super late your time, so honestly, thank you for even coming by to say hello. I appreciate it a lot. Oh my word. Yeah, seriously, if it's super late where you're at, the VOD will always be here for you when you return. You do not have to stay up late. I do try to make these streams on the weekend because I know it's a lot easier if you are gonna stay up a little bit, but do not do that if you do not have to. So, oh my word. But yeah, it's kind of wild that it's almost 2 weeks into February. I kind of can't believe that that's a thing. Oh my word. Oh, that's so glad. I'm so glad to hear that. I've heard from a lot of people that they ended up getting recommended my videos, like Lore Archive and other things, which is kind of wild to me. I've always wondered about how the YouTube algorithm works, and it's kind of nice to hear that it's actually like getting the video to people who are interested in it. So yeah, yeah, I don't know. I think the plan for today is kind of just to hang out with y'all and like just take it easy. I do actually have a ton of questions and things that were sent in, so I've prepared a slideshow for you all, just of like answers to questions as well as like different images and things like that, because I always find that helpful. Am I really at 2.3k? What? That's so many people. Good grief, that's kind of nuts. Oh my gosh. And I know not everyone follows me for Blue Archive stuff, so thank you to those of you who do, who are very kind and patient as I am constantly talking about Blue Archive. It's some good stuff. Yeah, I feel like a lot of, and here's the thing, because there is a lot of competitive things that exist on YouTube for Blue Archive. I don't know, I kind of wanted to make things that were just more, there's a lot of casual players, and I feel like making stuff that's more geared towards a broader audience that includes the casual audience is good. So yeah, and thank you, I really appreciate it. Yeah, I know, a whole 2,300 people, it's wild. It's really sweet of you to say that I filled a vacuum with my content about Blue Archive. I honestly, when I first uploaded my first video, I kind of just anticipated it was going to be a one and done. I had done a lot of illustrations about Blue Archive before and just hadn't really like reached much of an audience there, so I was like, you know, it seems like people are like really into doing the competitive scene and things like that, and I'm just not really making a lot of content around that, so I'm just gonna enjoy making my fan art and enjoy making my video about this. But yeah, no, I've been genuinely surprised just at how into watching my videos and listening to me talk a lot of people have been, so it's awesome. I really appreciate it. This entire channel is a really big passion project of mine, so I appreciate it a lot. Thank you all. It means a lot that you all are, you know, into watching my stuff and all of that. I appreciate it quite a bit. Oh, but yeah, my thought is what I might do is kind of alternate between the slideshow that I've got and just kind of hanging out here. If you all have any questions and things like that, I'm also happy to hang out with you all. So yeah, I actually have gotten a lot of questions about that as far as a Blue Archive stream. So the biggest thing is legit just timing, because I've got a full-time job that I work, so it's kind of tricky to do stuff on the weekdays. And that's always when new patches drop, and I feel like when it's the most relevant to do like event streams and stuff like that. But at some point, I think it would be super cool just to actually like, I've been looking into a lot of emulators, and people in the community have been super helpful with walking me through different options that I can look into. So yeah, I think that probably what I'll do at some point is when I figure out emulators, I would love to show you all like different pulls that I make and how I approach different events. I think that would be fun. Oh, this last event was really fun. I really enjoyed it quite a bit. I know I kind of talked about how Conquest was a little confusing with how it was set up, but yeah, I'm sincerely hoping that if they ever bring it back again, that it ends up being a little more straightforward. Oh, a question about Warhammer. Let's go. I love the 40k universe. Yeah, I actually was thinking at some point if I can get it to work, I would love to build models on stream. I think that would be super fun, like building models and painting models, I think would be super cool. There's some really great YouTubers that exist on the platform that have a bunch of lore videos about that. I don't know that I can approach their level of thoroughness on a lot of stuff, so Luton is kind of the big one. He's done like a gigantic series of 40k lore videos, and they are super, super awesome. Like really, really helpful. So if y'all are into learning more about 40k and you like listening to long videos, which I suspect many of you do, he's got an entire comprehensive series about all of the different factions in 40k and kind of the backstories behind a lot of the big characters. So yeah, no, I think that there's a lot of really awesome factions, and I would love to build some models. I think it'd be cool. If you all are interested in 40k, there's a couple of different channels I would suggest checking out. A really awesome, like high production channel that I love watching is called 40k in 40 minutes. And they are really, really awesome guys that get super excited about 40k. And they put on these really awesome shows where they show you how the game is played and they play with each other, and they get really into painting their models and having a lot of fun cinematic effects. So yeah, I would definitely suggest checking them out. They do a really good job with all of that. And then I'm trying to think of like other 40k stuff. As far as like other 40k lore, I think I've mentioned this before, but the podcast Adeptus Ridiculous is extremely funny. The two dudes who run that are super hilarious, and their editor slash assistant in chief is also awesome. She helps out to like find really cool questions for them to look into and different lore topics. So yeah, I would highly suggest all of those. So 40k in 40 minutes if you want to see really fun. They're called battle reports essentially. So watching 40k actually be played. The thing about Warhammer is it's actually a really big franchise. Like I play a lot of the models, like the tabletop game, but there's actually a whole bunch of video games that people have played as well. So yeah, I would suggest checking out a lot of that stuff. Oh, and yeah, I see Tomzilla. Hello Yumi, just passing by before I start recording my video of the day. How are you? Hope this week has been going super well for you in chat. It has been going pretty all right. I was telling people at the beginning that Bear and I are getting old. And the poor dude threw out his back, so just trying to take it easy this Saturday. But besides that, stuff has been going pretty good. I'm still waiting on all of my tax documents to get here, so fun adulting stuff. But once that's all here, I can actually do our taxes and get that all figured out. So, and then it will be done, and I will be free from having to do it for another year, which is good. Oh, I have not seen Infinity by Corvus Belly. Cool. Yeah, no, I will check that out. I always love recommendations for that stuff. That's wild. I'm gonna write that down. All right, Infinity by Corvus Belly. Thank you. I appreciate the recommendation. As far as our main factions, I play, actually, I'm thinking of picking up some more, but right now what I play is Thousand Suns, because Magnus is the best, and I love the Thousand Suns. They are fantastic. I also play the Sisters of Battle, because they are all absolutely fantastic. And I also play Harlequins, who recently got major nerfs, and I am devastated, but it was also about time for them to get nerfed. They couldn't keep doing their fun 4-up invuln saves forever, so You know, Magnus did nothing wrong. I completely agree. I 100% agree with that statement. Yes, no, I do need a yucca in my life. Oh my word. There's been many times when I've thought to myself, maybe I should just hire an accountant. I don't know. That might happen at some point here. But I've been doing our taxes for many, many years now. So I'm gonna do it for another year, I think. I feel like it's something that you really get in the habit of if you are like, I don't know, when you're first starting out doing taxes, like you kind of just get in the habit of doing it yourself. But if I can find someone who's affordable, it would be nice to hand off my taxes to someone else to do. Oh my word. Oh yeah, and then as far as Bear's faction, so he plays the Tau, he plays orcs, and he plays Necrons. And then recently he has absolutely been loving the Votan, so we picked up a couple of models and we're thinking about maybe building that. So entirely too much plastic is sitting in our basement. Some of it is built, some of it is still needing to be built, so I definitely have lots of material if I ever do a building stream. But yeah, no, it's a super fun game and I really like it. I just wish the models weren't so expensive. It's kind of frustrating. They keep raising the prices on it too. Like, I think they just announced another 6% price hike on the models, which is absurd. Oh, Rock and Stone. Yes, Deep Rock Galactic is super fun. When Bear and I got COVID, which was awful over Christmas, we didn't really have much that we could focus on, but Deep Rock Galactic was like the right amount of keeping our brains engaged but still having fun together. So we just pulled out our computers and just played together for many, many, many hours. And it was super fun. They had this really adorable event that was going on where you could go in and hunt down elves and like Christmas elves. And you could also, you know, run around and have a bunch of different like infection points that you were trying to fight throughout the maps. It was awesome. I really liked it. I've been a little busy recently, so we haven't been able to play so much of that. But yeah, I was gonna say I saw that you all were playing that. That's awesome. And thank you. I'm so glad that you all like the Lore Archive video. I've been working on the Eden Treaty one, and it's a big one, but I hope to have that for you all before too long. Oh man, no, it's a lot. I was just looking at y'all quoting prices for different models for different types of armies and different games, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like Warhammer 40k could absolutely be more affordable. I've also heard that it's particularly bad if you're in Latin America or if you're in other places. Like if you're in the UK, it's a lot better because that's where they're like stationed out of. That's where the game originates. So the prices there are doing pretty all right. But I kind of feel like anywhere that's outside of the UK, it's really expensive to buy 40k models. And yes, there is technically a volume between the Eden Treaty and Abydos, but I'm going to cover that in a later video because first of all, it's not fully complete yet. There's another volume that will be coming around to that, or I guess another chapter to the Millennium volume, and I would rather cover that all in one go once that's released, as opposed to starting the Millennium volume now and then kind of having to come back to it later. And plus, I think the Eden Treaty ties in really nicely to Abydos, so we're kind of going to jump around a little bit. We'll jump straight to the Eden Treaty, cover that. The way I've got it mapped out, I was looking at release dates to try and figure out how much time I've got between those, but what I'm going to do is do the Eden Treaty first, and then I will do SRT, and then Millennium should have its next chapter out at that point, and I can cover Millennium then. And then I think if I did my math right, we'll be at the final chapter at that point. That I'll have to revisit that just to double check, but yeah. But yes, Millennium is kind of isolated from the events in the Eden Treaty. It's kind of happening like somewhat concurrently, but it's got its own stuff that's going on. So Some of the chapters are like that, like SRT is like that as well, where it is connected a little bit to some of the other things, but you can kind of tell it as a somewhat isolated story. So that's why we're jumping to the Eden Treaty next, because the Eden Treaty does happen directly after Abydos, and it has a lot of events that tie directly to it. So yeah, I'm thinking that the final volume, I have suspicions about it. I don't want to talk too much here because we've got a lot of global people and I don't want to spoil anything, but I have some suspicions that it's going to be like the final volume for like the first part of Blue Archive, and then there will be more to come after that. That's my hope anyway. I don't know if that's substantiated, but yeah, I think it will be good. But yeah, so that's what's going on. There is technically a volume between Eden Treaty and Abydos, but it's kind of its own thing. So I would rather cover that when that's complete and it doesn't have any bearing on the Eden Treaty. So we should be good. Yes, Tiki, you are absolutely correct. Arc 1 is exactly it. So it's kind of like the final volume of Arc 1. Which is awesome. So, because yeah, I mean, they're planning on making an anime for Blue Archive, which is awesome. I'm so excited. I am so excited for an anime. It's gonna be so cool. Oh my gosh, I am super excited. I have no idea when that's going to be released or which studio is going to be responsible for that, but I am so hyped. Yes, absolutely. Even just the little promo image they have of Verona, oh my gosh, infinite hype. Yeah, I sincerely hope that they don't, that it isn't a flop, but I've been pretty impressed with some other anime adaptations that have existed recently. Like, I was really into the Pre-Con adaptation. This might be somewhat controversial to say, but I actually kind of liked the Pre-Con anime adaptation a little more than the Pre-Con game story. I feel like they went for more of like a parallel worlds thing, or like multiple timelines thing with the anime, which was awesome. So yeah, no, I don't know. I liked the Pre-Con anime a lot. I cried a lot at the ending. It was very good. I would highly recommend it if you're looking for something that's kind of chill and then ramps up like crazy in the second season to be really emotional. So, oh my word. But yeah, I'm pretty excited just to see what they do with the anime. I feel like there's a lot of potential for them to do really fun things with it. So I'm excited. I think it will be cool to see what stories they end up covering and, you know, what characters they bring in. Like, obviously Abydos is going to be featured, I feel like. But maybe not. Maybe they'll just focus on Trinity and Gehenna, or maybe they'll focus on, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I hope that at some point we get a trailer, but obviously, like, they've only just released the teaser recently, so we have quite some time before they will show us anything. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure that there's also a Genshin anime that's coming out at some point, which is being, I think it's Ufotable that is actually animating that, which is wild. Like, I can't even imagine how much money Genshin dropped to get Ufotable. They are absolutely nuts. Like, their entire work on the Fate series has like single-handedly revitalized the Fate series, so oh man. Yeah, no, I have heard that it's a ways off, especially if Ufotable's doing stuff with it. So I hope they take their time with the Blue Archive anime as well, because I think it's a huge potential for like new people to learn about the game, and for us to get an anime, which means we get to hear more of the voice actresses doing an awesome job with their lines. So, oh my word. But yeah, I'm really glad to hear. I've actually heard, like, I keep getting lots of really kind comments from people. Some days I just can't keep up. I'm almost positive that my YouTube notifications are busted because I feel like I get some notifications for comments and then not for others. So then I try to manually go and look for things, and it's a mess. So if I haven't responded back to you, please know that I appreciate you all a lot. Your kind comments have been very, very much appreciated, and I'm very glad that I've been able to share my passion of the game with you all, and that, like, for a lot of people, it sounds like I've at least helped to, like, get back into the game and know how to play things and different things with the lore. So oh, yeah. Now it would be good. But yeah, no, I would be ecstatic if they did a bunch of the different things. Like, how wild would it be if they covered the Eden Treaty in an anime? I actually wonder if that would fit, like, reasonably. You could probably pull that off in a single season, but it'd be a little tight. I can't believe that I'm actually trying to do that in one video, but you know. No, I appreciate that. Here's the thing, especially with the Zatsudan, it's really nice just to, like, talk with you all and stuff. So I appreciate you all a lot. I do want to try and respond to you all as best as I can with the comments, because you all leave such nice things. Like, there's been a couple of comments where I've stumbled across it and, like, someone has written something super nice, but it was like a week and a half ago, and I'm like, no! How did I miss this, YouTube? Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me this person left such a nice comment? At the very least, what I've been trying to do is go through and like different things if I'm not able to, like, fully respond to stuff. Yesterday was kind of wild because I made a community post and I uploaded a video, and I also had some comments I hadn't looked through yet, and I had like 38 notifications. It was too much. It took me a while just to go through everything, but yeah, no, I appreciate you all quite a bit. Oh, yeah, no, I think that's perfect, Teak. I'm really glad that, like, you all have been so kind to each other in the comments. Like, yesterday even, with that gameplay video, I saw some people were asking some questions, and I'm just like, oh, let me respond to this. And then I saw one of you all had already done that and been like, hey, no, this is how you do this, and this is how you work through stuff. So that's awesome. I sure appreciate it, because I try my best to respond back to people if they have questions and things, but obviously I'm just one person, so trying to go through and figure stuff out is is rough. Oh my word. Yeah, you know, I have heard that with as far as, like, re-rolling, essentially, like account resets, it's kind of funny. When I know I mentioned this in my original gameplay video, which was very funny because I did get a lot of comments from people being like, no, you shouldn't tell people not to re-roll. And I'm like, okay. What I'm trying to say is that you don't have to re-roll to enjoy the game, because I didn't, and I ended up with most of the characters, so it ended up working out. But here's the thing, the fact that you can re-roll to get what characters you want is wild. I don't know, you all have a lot more patience for that than I do. I feel like if I had to keep restarting the game for, like, hours to try and get the characters I wanted, I feel like I would go a little nuts. So I commend your dedication to the cause. It is very good. Oh my word. Okay, that's actually good to know. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only person. Like, Bear and I didn't re-roll at all. We just went with what we got. His gacha luck, I think, has been pretty tremendous. He ended up getting most of the characters within a couple of months. I've very slowly been collecting a lot of the characters. In particular, I didn't have Hibiki or Iori, I think, until I was, like, almost max level. And I still cleared most of the content without them. So here's the thing, though, when I did get Hibiki, I was like, oh, I understand. I understand why everyone says she's so good. Whoa, I just kind of hit her EX skill and the entire screen blows up. That's great. She's quite good. I understand now. But here's the thing, I feel like it gave me a chance to try out a bunch of other characters, so, oh, actually, that's a good question. Is the Discord link broken? That's no good. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go pull up YouTube. YouTube, what have you done? Have you broken the Discord link? That is no good. Let's see. Thank you for the heads up on that. Yeah, from what I can see, it looks like it's not broken. It's got a couple of steps that you have to do to get into it. The link that you can use, if you go to my main YouTube page, kind of in the top banner, there's a couple of links. There's one for my Twitter, and there's one for my little website, and then I've got one for the Discord. And at least when I clicked on it, it worked. If you have any issues, though, go ahead and shoot me a message afterwards. You can leave a comment on the video, or you can reach out to me on Twitter, and I'll try to figure out what's going on. But yeah, oh no! I'm so sorry that you didn't get Wakamo Big Chilling. That's no good. Oh my word. Yeah, no, at some point, Wakamo should, I think, get her own banner again. I think that we'll have the Valentine rerun at some point, so... Okay, good. I'm glad that Discord is working for you. So if for whatever reason the link wasn't working, I would definitely just go ahead and try, like, retry that again, just to see if it works. Because yeah, no, it's been awesome. You all have been super great on the Discord. I have really appreciated it quite a bit. It's fun to see you all talking about stuff and giving each other advice and things, so... Oh, yep. Yeah, those fest banners generally only last for about 4 days, but you have an increased rate of getting 3 stars, so it's from, I think it's 3% to 6%, and then the rate to get the banner character stays the same, but as far as, you know, getting Wakamo and things like that, she's always going to be an option, so yeah. I know, summoning all the gacha looks so that you can actually get Wakamo. Oh, good. Okay. I'm glad to hear. Yeah, I don't know. Discord is kind of weird sometimes. I'm not entirely sure what makes it tick, but yeah, please feel free to come and join. Everyone's been super nice. I've got some, like, I think pretty standard rules on the main page, so feel free to just look over those, and then you can go and hang out in the different channels. Everyone has been super awesome. Everyone seems to, like, be really good at helping each other with different advice or different things about Blue Archive, and then people hang out and play Deep Rock together, so it makes me really happy. It's really good. Yeah, as far as upcoming Blue Archive characters, the ones that I'm kind of saving up for right now is I'm looking forward to the Sports Day version of Yuka, because she's extremely adorable. And I'm looking forward to the New Year characters. So you've got Haruna and you've got Fuka. Both of them are going to have really adorable New Year outfits that I am super excited about. And then after that, it's Mika. It's all about Mika. I'm so excited for when her banner hits global. That's going to be amazing. As far as Bear, he has been doing insanely good. He got, I think he got swimsuit Izuna on his second day. And then the third day, he got one of the SRT girls. Trying to remember which one he got. It was someone who he hadn't gotten before, but I am not remembering exactly who it was, because we both have different characters on our side, so yeah. I think that it's gonna be really cool just to see once we get a lot of stuff coming up. But yeah, if you're ever interested in which characters are coming up, but like you don't want spoilers for the story, a YouTube channel that I would suggest checking out is called Arisu Archive. They are a whale on the Japanese server, but they use their powers for good and essentially show off all of the unique animations, all the furniture interactions, what it looks like when they're in battle. And it is my favorite place to go when I'm looking up future characters. I'm like, oh, look how cute they are. Look at the interactions that they have and all this stuff. So, they're very good. It's extremely good. So, yeah. No, I like it a lot. But yeah, I finally did get swimsuit Chisei. I am so happy for that. And then maybe I'll end up with swimsuit Izuna before the free pulls run out, but if not, I've got enough gems that I can spark her, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I have heard actually that some of the development team overlaps with Pre-Con and Blue Archive, which I think is great. Like, if something works, like, why try to fix it, you know? Like, there's a lot of mechanics and things as far as rolling and sparking and things like that that are very similar between Blue Archive and Pre-Con, and I like it quite a bit, so... Oh no, I'm sorry you haven't gotten any 3 stars from the free pulls. That was actually me up until yesterday. I just got swimsuit Chisei yesterday after getting no 3 stars forever and ever. Yeah, I was convinced I wasn't gonna get anything, so it was kind of a welcome relief that I ended up getting to someone, and it was one of the characters I wanted, but yeah, we'll see how that ends up going. Oh, nice. You ended up getting Chisei on the 40th free pull. That's awesome. That's perfect. I'm really glad to hear that. Oh, man, Akko is fantastic. Man, I was also really excited that they made it so that we could choose which characters we want. Obviously, we had to pay for an extra ticket for it, so... but I was finally able to get Cherry No for the first time. In all of my pulls, have never ended up with Cherry No. I've just been using Bear's copy for a long time. So yeah, I am quite happy that I was able to finally pick her up. That was good. Yeah, no, I'm really impressed with the chibi character design in the game. It's absolutely wild. I feel like they put a lot of time and effort into all of it. It ends up being really good. Oh, I'm so glad. It's so nice to see all the different characters that you all are getting. That's awesome. Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. Oh man. Yeah, no, I think that's a smart idea, to save the selector ticket until you're done with free pulls, because then, you know, who knows who you're gonna end up with. Honestly, I probably should have read the patch notes on that to see that that was still gonna be available into the Chisei and Izuna pulls, but I got pretty excited that the ticket existed, and I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm grabbing Cherry No. It's been so long, I'm gonna finally pick her up. So yeah, quite happy about that. You know, speaking of Blue Archive, I actually got a ton of questions about that. Some people sent in some really awesome questions ahead of time. So what I might actually do is bump us over to the slideshow screen and walk you through some of the questions that people sent me, because I think they were really good. And then I can kind of walk us through the rest of the questions that people sent, because they're really great topics that people sent in. So yeah, hang out here for a second and we're gonna go swing on over to that screen. Alrighty. Alright, so let me go ahead and get this thing pulled up. Okay. Awesome. Okay. I have got this all pulled up here, so let's go ahead and go through this. So thank you to everyone who sent in questions. It's super helpful, just for me to, you know, if you can't make it to the stream or if there's certain topics that you have that you want me to go over. I think that's awesome. So I've got a couple of Blue Archive stuff at first, so I'm gonna go ahead and go through those real quick here. So I had a bunch of people ask who is my favorite student in Blue Archive. If it's hard to choose only one, you can choose multiple of them. Really curious to know. And then I had someone actually go so far to ask who is my favorite Blue Archive student for each school. One for lore and another for clearing raids and content. They also said that they were finally able to not only get swimsuit Hoshino, but they got her unique equipment up to level 50, which is fantastic. So that was awesome. So anyway, I figured I'd treat you all with this because I generally am not the biggest fan of like making tier lists. I think a lot of other people do a pretty good job with that, but this is probably the closest that you'll see me get to making a tier list, is talking about my favorite characters, lore-wise and for clearing raids and stuff. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna hop right into this first question. I've sort of briefly talked about this in other streams, but I figured I'd kind of go into more detail here about who my favorite students are. I do have 3. It was very hard to narrow down, but Hifumi is one of my favorite characters. I feel like she's very close to my own heart. She is very earnest and adorable, and she is a gigantic otaku. Which is amazing. I also love that she always comes over prepared to everything. I kind of feel that deep in my bones. She always has a backpack that's full of band-aids and snacks and umbrellas and other things just in case she needs anything. It was funny actually when I was working like actually in the office before I was full-time work from home. She I feel like I had a little bit of that energy in the office where I would have people swing by my desk because they knew that I had like I had ibuprofen, I had tissues, I had allergy medication, I had just all of this stuff just stored in there. I had hand warmers, I had a blanket during the winter, so people would swing by and be like, hey, can I grab this? And I would have stuff handy. So I don't know. I kind of feel like if I am going to go out somewhere, I always want to make sure that I'm prepared and that I've got things. So my purse is always entirely too full of things. So I feel a lot of kinship with Hifumi in that regard. Yes, no, I was the mom of the office. People would swing by and call me mom, which was always a little, especially when they were only a couple years younger than me. And I'm like, oh no, I guess I just have become the office mom, I guess. But please feel free to come by if you need anything. I do have a bunch of stuff, so. And then I also really like Hifumi because she is someone who's got really tragically low self-esteem, but she will fight for the things that she cares about. And yeah, I think that's really commendable. She's someone who tries to overcome things that she struggles with and cares deeply about her friends. So yeah, I think that's awesome. I think it's very good. And then surprising no one, Aru is one of my favorite characters. I absolutely love her. She is such a lovable goofball. Let's see your comments. Hifumi. I only know Faust. Yes. Yes, this is true. It is Faust. Yes, no, Aru is absolutely delightful. She is like the poster child for fake it till you make it. Which I think is absolutely fantastic, particularly insofar as she struggles a lot with self-doubt and feeling like she gets herself into situations that she maybe didn't intend to, but man, she commits hard. She's like, you know what? I've screwed up, but I'm going to salvage this situation in some way. And I think that's awesome. I feel like that is an awesome thing to try and embody, so I think that's good. And then more than anything, I think that she just always has her friends' backs, which is really awesome. I think that she's a super cool character. She's one of the characters that made me fall in love with this game. When she first showed up in the Abada storyline, I'm like, well, I'm completely hooked on this game. This is it. I'm just gonna play this game all the time. That is not to say that the Abados team is not also lovable. It's just that Aru was kind of like the next step for me personally, where I'm like, this game is amazing and the writers are hilarious and they care a lot about their world and it is so amazing. Oh, Gehenna does have a ton of lovable students. That is actually a great segue because my third favorite character is also from Gehenna. Oh, give me a second. I'm kind of blocking this. Let me try to lean. So Hina is an inspiration to short people everywhere. She is a short, competent badass, and I absolutely love her. She is unbelievably amazing. I love her so much. Yeah, she also is someone who struggles a lot with work-life balance, but she is working on it. I think that that is a really cool aspect of her character, is that she is extremely competent, but she also shoulders entirely too much responsibility. And it's something that she tries to work to overcome throughout the story, and I absolutely love her. Yes, she does need a vacation. In fact, one of the event stories does feature her being like forcibly taken on vacation by the prefect team, and it is excellent. I love it so much. It is very, very good. Ugh. All right, so the big question. Can you tell us your favorite Blue Archive student for each school? One for lore-wise and another for clearing raids and content. Give me 1 second. I'm actually going to make this slideshow just a tiny bit shorter. We're gonna have a little bit of black around the sides, but this one, I just know that this particular slide stuff will show up all over the screen, so I want to make sure y'all can see that. And then I'll make that a little bigger afterwards. Alrighty. This is the Yumi lore raid and content. Not tier list, but like all of my favorites from each school. So a couple of things here. So for one thing, there's a couple of schools that you're gonna notice are missing. And it's just because they don't have a ton of characters. In particular, my cutoff was if they had 3 or less students. I didn't include them in this because it's kind of hard to pick from just 3. I did include Shanghai Jing, even though there's only technically 4 playable characters, but that was kind of the cutoff. So unfortunately, I don't have SRT or Arius or Valkyrie represented here, but I've got everyone else. But needless to say, I like the Arius and SRT and Valkyrie girls quite a bit, so. But anyway, what I have done is I have actually separated this into a couple of different sections. So each of these schools, I'm going to talk about which character I like the most for their lore, which character I like the most for raids. Raids mostly being total assault, but like other content as well that's kind of hard. And then content. So the content characters are going to be ones for like clearing mission floors and events and just kind of general content that isn't total assault. That being said, I do want to make it clear that just because I put a character in a certain section doesn't mean that I don't think that they fit other sections as well. Especially some of the bigger schools, there are so many characters that fit all of these. I just had to pick one for each. So yeah, so as far as lore from Abydos, I love Sarika so much. She is so endearing. She's like straight for my heart as far as like all of her speeches about like, don't feel bad for being poor. Like, you never have to apologize for not having money for things. She's such a hard worker and she tries so hard to keep everything afloat. She is, yeah, she is the best Engi cat. I absolutely love her. She is such a good person and tries so hard to help her friends. So she is, yes, also her getting easily scammed is so funny. Just for everything, MLMs, crypto, everything, absolutely hysterical. I think that the writers of this game have a very good sense of humor, so I really like her quite a bit. As far as raids, like Total Assault and other hard content, it's Summer Hoshino. She was just released, but oh my god, she is amazing. Her ability to essentially make it so your EX skills recharge faster is unreal. It's like, I think 50 seconds her EX skill is active, and your other EX skills are going to recharge even faster, which is nuts. Not to mention she herself does a lot of damage, and then she increases explosive damage quite a bit too, but like you can run her in any team just for that first ability where she makes it so EX skills recharge faster, and she's just like a super, super good character. So I love her. I am so excited that she has finally been released, and I'm excited for when she comes back around again. And then as far as content clearing, this one was really hard. Because I like a lot of the Abydos students for a lot of content clearing, but if I had to pick just one, it would be Nonami. I think that she is crazy fun to run as a piercing character. You just unleash her EX skill and just mow down piercing enemies, which is amazing. I think it is crazy fun to use. For like some of the later game content, I found myself using some other characters for things, but that wasn't because Nonami wasn't good. It's just because I had other characters I wanted to try out. So yeah, no, Nonami is amazing. I love her to death. She is wonderful. I cannot believe that she was a character that they were just like, hey, you started playing the game, try this awesome character. But yeah, I think that the way that they do it is, at least from what I understand, I think this is still true for new players, is when you start out, they have like a new player kind of like starting event that you can do. And if you complete tasks, you can unlock Nonami. And then from there, you can go to the Elif shop just to level her up some more. But yeah, no, she is fantastic. I love her. Moving on to Gehenna, this one was so hard. Oh, there are so many Gehenna characters. Oh my god. This one was brutal. It was so hard to pick just 3. I kept changing my mind on which characters I put in which section. So, okay, I'm glad to hear that that is still the case for Nonami. Okay. So lore. Again, this was excruciating. It was so hard to pick just one character. Who I ended up going with was Aru. I love Aru so much. I feel like from a lot of lore perspectives, she is super funny as a character, but also really endearing in how she interacts with the plot and different characters. I feel like any scene that she's in is just automatically better because she's in it. So Aru is wonderful. I love her so much. This one was so hard. I almost put Hina in this section, but I had to be true to my heart that like Aru, I think like just like the breadth of her interactions in the plot just slightly tipped her over the edge, but god, it was hard. Hina was right behind. It was so hard. As far as raids, this was devastating. There are so many good Gehenna characters, but some of you have predicted it correctly. It is Akko. Akko is just straight up one of the best buff characters in the game. She is absurd, absolutely absurd. Her EX skill will increase crit rate and crit damage for a character by an absolutely insane amount. She serves as a backline healer, which is nuts. Like, why does she heal? Why does she heal on top of providing crit rate and crit damage? Why? That's insane. She's just so good. The other character who I thought about putting here was Iori, who is also just nuts because Iori is supposedly only like, I think it's like S tier indoors, and then she's like a C in urban and outside, but like that's a lie. Iori is really good no matter which terrain you have her in. It's why you see her run on like a ton of content. Here's the thing, she becomes even more scary indoors, but you can run her outdoors in urban as well, and she's still nuts. But yeah, so Akko is my pick for the raids category. And then finally for content, this was also brutal. It was very hard to pick, but I love Haruna. I love her so much. She is so much fun to play. I tried to pick for a lot of the content sections characters who were like relatively acquirable, and you can grind for Haruna through hard stages. And she is just nuts. She's super fun. Not to mention, if you end up investing in her a lot, like, she just gets even better. If you get her EX skill up to 5, its skill cost goes from 4 to 3, which is dumb. Like, that's dumb. That's so good. The first time that I brought her to a battle after that, I'm like, is my game bugged? Why is it only costing 3 to use her EX skill now? Like, surely that's wrong. But no, it is. It is extremely good. Yeah, a lot of EX skills get, like, even more powerful when you bring them up to 5. She is one of the only characters in the game where they actually discount the cost of her skill. There's very few characters that they do that with. Other ones, they just give like a nuts bonus, essentially, when you bring them up to 5. But yeah, she's one of those characters, and it is absurd, like absolutely absurd. She is super fun to bring to missions. She's super fun to bring to Total Assault. She is super fun to bring to all these things. Especially when I feel like mystic damage dealers kind of are at a high premium in the game. Like, there are a lot more of them now than when the game first started, but there's still a lot more explosive and piercing characters. So Haruna fits a really nice role as a very, very good mystic damage dealer who is super fun. Her EX skill goes in a straight line as well, so you can catch multiple enemies within it, and it is wild. It is very good. Oh, man. But yeah, let's see, moving on. Trinity was also hard. There's a lot of students at some of these schools. Trinity is one of them. There is a mystic tank. It is Natsu. She is with Trinity, and I love her. She is fantastic. I was super excited when they released her because she was, I think at the time, like, she might even still be the only mystic tank in the game. But I love her a lot. I'll talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, as far as lore, my favorite from Trinity is Hifumi. I'm sorry. I feel like I keep bringing up some of the same characters over and over, but Hifumi is wonderful. I love her so much. She is so adorable. She is just a bundle of, like, endearing joy. I think she is absolutely fantastic. Oh, you were correct. Tsukuyo is a mystic tank. Thank you. I haven't been able to pick her up yet, but yes, you are correct. So we do have a couple of mystic tanks in the game. But yeah, our girl Faust, she's doing well up here in the lore area. As far as raids, this was also really hard. There's some very, very good Trinity students. I almost put Serena here because she is just like the best 1-star in the game, I would argue. Like, she's super versatile. She's a fantastic healer. She's very good to use for a variety of content. But who I ended up picking was Azusa. Honestly, this could be either version of Azusa, either her regular or her swimsuit. I went with regular in this case because she is just, like, dumb. She does dumb amounts of damage. It's insane. She's one of the best single target damage dealers. She just also has a very satisfying attack animation where the attack hits the enemy and then it kind of like explodes out the backside, and it is so good. Yes, the defense debuff is amazing. That is a thing on both versions of Azusa. So yeah, no, she is really good. Really, really, really good. You can also pick her up now from the Total Assault shop if you run, I think it's Hardcore, Extreme, and Insane. You can get those purple coins. You can use the purple coins to exchange for her Elifs, which is awesome if you don't have her yet. She is super good. And then as far as content, oh, this one is hard. I saw someone predict Koharu, which was pretty on point. I actually almost did Koharu because she's really good. She's very fun for clearing a lot of content because she can not only serve as a healer, but she also does damage in an AoE circle, which is very good. Who I ended up actually picking, though, because I was looking over the characters who I tend to run on a lot of teams and who I like for different stuff. I really, really like Natsu. So I mentioned before that she is a mystic tank, but she has an ability that heals herself for quite a bit. That's what her EX skill does. But more than that, she has a really good buff ability where she will chuck snacks behind her, which is a very cute animation. So she'll chuck snacks behind her and it'll bounce between your team members, and it will give them a buff, which is pretty substantial. I really like it. It's quite good. So, oh yes, and her EX skill does remove any debuffs that are on her. So yeah, this was really hard. I still think Koharu probably would have been a slightly better pick here, but for me personally, I really like running Natsu, so I think she is fantastic and super fun to run. She's got a very different feel to her from some of the other tanks, like Tsubaki. You know that you're bringing her because she's just she's just a literal walking tank. You just can't do a lot of damage to her. And then you know, Yuka has her shield that she brings up, and Bunny Neru will jump into battle with a shield, whereas Natsu is kind of just gonna like get up close and personal with people, and then as she takes damage, you can heal her, and she'll just periodically buff the rest of your team. So yeah, she's super good. And then Millennium, the same deal. There's a lot of students here. As far as lore, it's probably not the most surprising. She's a fan favorite, and I also adore her. But Aris is so good. Oh my god, she's so cute. You will see more of her when I talk about Millennium. It's kind of why I didn't want to talk about the Millennium story right off the bat, because I want more of that to be complete first on the global server. She is absolutely adorable. I love her. Her whole story and her interaction with the characters is one of the most endearing things I've ever seen. Her introduction to the rest of the cast is super cute. She tries really hard to do things. So yeah, no, I think she is awesome. Let me go to the next one. Surprising no one. The raid section goes to Hibiki. Hibiki is really good. She has a Nutso EX skill that hits a ton of enemies for an absurd amount of damage. And yeah, she also has one of her sub skills increases crit damage for characters. So yeah, no, it is kind of nuts. Whoa, give me a second. Occasionally we have loud cars that come by, and I was just making sure that wasn't like someone at the door. It doesn't seem like it. But yeah, no, she is very good. So I would say that she's probably my pick for raids. As far as content, I may be cheating a little bit. I'm putting two characters here, but they're kind of crucial to go together. You don't always have to run them together, but for content, it is the twins, Momoi and Midori. They are so much fun to play. Oh my god, I love them so much. They are crazy fun. They are also available in the Total Assault shop. So if you don't have them yet, I would also recommend potentially grabbing them. They're stupid fun. They work really well off of each other because if you run them together, they end up giving each other an attack buff, which is pretty substantial. So if you run them on the same team, obviously you have to give up the 2 slots for them, but I would say it's worthwhile. I think they're very good. So Momoi has a really big AoE attack that she does in front of her, whereas Midori has an attack that hits 5 times. So you can either hit 5 enemies around you, or you can hit 1 enemy 5 times, and it's quite good. So also, I appreciate the shout out. I will take a quick drink break. Oh, that was good. Alrighty. Good water. Alrighty, Red Winter. As far as lore is concerned, I absolutely loved the event story for Nodoka, particularly, so Onsen Nodoka is my favorite from Red Winter for lore. That entire event story and her character through that was extremely funny. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was very fun to watch. As far as raids, it probably comes as no surprise that I picked Cherino. Cherino is very good. She might actually be one of the best AoE characters in the entire game. The way that she works is her EX skill costs 5, but when you unleash it, it hits literally everything on the screen and it just mows down enemies. It is kind of dumb. It is very, very good. And then as far as content, this one was kind of hard. I almost just put Cherino twice, but I felt like that was cheating. Who I'm actually going to put here is our tank from Red Winter, Marina. She is actually really fun to play, especially if you don't have another piercing tank, or if you want to shake it up and try someone other than Tsubaki. I've been playing her a lot through some of the other content recently, and she is really fun. Her ability will hit enemies right in front of you, but she keeps walking forward. So you end up hitting a lot more enemies than you expect, and she does a bunch of damage. It's almost kind of like a mini focused forward-facing Cherino, and it's very good. I highly suggest it. I feel like she's one of those characters that I don't see a lot of people talk about, and I just wanted to shout her out because I think that she's kind of an underrated tank, especially if you don't have anyone else who you like using. So yeah, I think she's awesome. Hyakyako was really hard. There's actually a lot of characters from here, and I like a lot of them. But if I had to pick someone for the lore, it would be Tsukuyo. She is so cute. I love how she tries so hard to be there for her friends. She is deeply self-conscious of how tall she is, but she still wants to be in the ninjutsu club. She is just so endearing. I love her to death. I want her so badly. I've never been able to pick her up on a poll. I actually, real talk, was going to pick her up from the selector ticket, but they didn't let me. So I grabbed the objectively correct choice, Cherino, but I really wanted Tsukuyo, like really badly. So at some point, I hope that I get her. As far as raids are concerned, it's probably not surprising to anyone that it's Wakamo, particularly the regular Wakamo. She is just nuts, like really, really good. She has a very, very good boss killing EX skill. It pairs really nicely with some of her sub skills that do even more damage to bosses. But she does a lot of damage where the way her skill works is that she'll shoot a couple of shots at a boss, and then the last shot will have petals that will appear above the boss's head. And then any damage that your other teammates do to the boss during the time that the petals are ticking down from 5 all the way down to 0 is going to do extra damage to the boss. So she's really, really good if you pair her with another damage dealer. My favorite combo is Wakamo and Azusa. So you hit the boss with Wakamo first, and then when it's ticking down, you hit them again with Azusa, and then the petals tick down, and it does a ton of damage, and it is very good. Very, very good. So yeah, I like her quite a bit. As far as content, this one was tricky because there's a lot of characters I think are really good from Hyakyako, but I'm actually going to say Chisei, specifically regular Chisei. She, I think, is a little underrated for how good of an AoE damage dealer she is. I used her for, honestly, even still some of like the late game content, but I have her leveled up so high that I sometimes bring her to Shirokuro, which is kind of funny. She's not necessarily the best for that fight, but I just have sunk so much into her just because I've used her so much. So she's really good if you are clearing missions. Because there really aren't a lot of AoE mystic damage dealers. The other really good one is New Year Mutsuki, who I actually almost put in the content section on Gehenna because I love her. She's super fun to play. But Chisei is a lot more like easy to obtain, I think. New Year Mutsuki will hopefully come back around at some point. But yeah, no, I think Chisei is great. And she obviously, like all students, gets better the more investment you put into her. So as you increase her star levels and things like that, she's pretty good. So yeah, I can definitely vouch for her helping me through a lot of content in the game. And finally, I included Shanghai Jing, even though there's only 4 students, because I think that there's still some relevant stuff to talk about here. As far as lore is concerned, it's gotta be young Shun. The entire event story surrounding how Shun becomes small and young, I think is really funny. I think it's well done, and it's actually a really good story in the game just to show how much responsibility is put on these students day to day, and Shun in particular shoulders a lot of responsibility at Shanghai Jing. So when she is given the opportunity to give up some of that responsibility and just enjoy herself, yeah, I think it's really well done. I think it's a very clever thing that they ended up doing. So yeah, I think that she is super adorable. But yeah, no, I think that she is super cute. But yeah, as far as raids are concerned, I actually was torn between picking young Shun again or regular Shun, and I just decided to do regular because her, like, one of her sub skills is just nuts. It makes it so at the start of the fight, you automatically start with 4 EX bar filled, which is crazy. If you're trying to get better times, if you're wanting to outcompete certain things, she is very, very good. But I do want to vouch for young Shun for raids. She has really good single target damage, so I think it's very good. As far as content, I actually am going to make a case for regular Saya. I think she's super fun. I have been trying her a lot recently, and she does a lot of AoE damage, and she has some poison damage that she does as well, and it is super, super cute. But yeah, no, I think it is. Ooh, sorry, give me one sec. So yeah, no, I think it's very good. I would definitely vouch quite highly for her. Yeah, sorry about that. My OBS was kind of doing a little weird blinky thing at me, so I had to make that go away. We're all good now, though. OBS is a fickle thing sometimes, so it's good now. But yeah, I would vouch a lot for Saya. I think that she is very underrated. I actually think her casual version is really good too. But I wanted to talk about her regular version because you can obtain it from, I'm trying to remember, it's either Total Assault or Tactical Challenge where you can use those coins for her. But yeah, no, she's really good. I would say that if you end up with her and you don't have another good AoE damage dealer, I think she's totally worth building. I've liked her a lot. I think the only drawback is her EX skill is kind of expensive. But yeah, I think it's pretty good. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna go have some more water before I jump into the rest of these slides here. So I will put you all to kind of the be right back screen, and I'll see you all in just a second. Alrighty. Thank you for waiting. I realized I had run out of water, so I needed to get some more. But yeah, we are all set now. So yeah, I apologize that I wasn't able to talk about Arius or SRT or Valkyrie. Valkyrie only has 2 students currently, so what I decided to do was just not go over them. They also couldn't fit on this page, so... But yeah, thank you all for waiting. And I'm glad that you all are drinking water. That's good. And no, you're definitely not late. Come hang out. We're just kind of going through some of the questions that people sent in. So, all right, I'm going to change the size of this back to full screen because I think this is the only slide that I ended up using all the real estate. But otherwise, I can go move that again. So I did get some other Blue Archive questions as well, which I thought were really good. So someone sent in a question about if I had any plans for making shorts or videos when I summon for specific students or for anniversary banners. And they also wondered if I will ever make video guides on events or raid teams. This is really sweet of you all to ask. Honestly, the biggest thing for me is that I was a little hesitant to make any, I guess, like content or any guides for Total Assault specifically because I never run Insane. And I do feel like a lot of players are looking for advice for Insane, but something that I could do is still have a guide just as far as like general good practices when tackling bosses, because you don't need to run Insane in order to actually get platinum. It definitely helps, but yeah, it's something where I could make videos just as far as like how to tackle different bosses, and then events for sure. I would love to stream events just to show you all like how I tackle different challenges and how I do different stuff. So yeah, definitely look forward to that. Really the biggest thing is, yeah, it's kind of hard with my schedule sometimes. Like when this last event came out, I was working overtime at my job and I just didn't have the time or energy to devote to doing a stream after work. And then I kind of felt like by the time the weekend rolled around, I don't know, like the Hoshino banner had passed and everything, so it didn't really make sense for me to do something at that point. So at some point in the future, I'd love to do that. This time of year, I feel like it's kind of busy at my day job, so it's kind of tricky to take away time from stuff. So yeah, no, I actually appreciate the suggestion. I would... I think it's kind of funny to call it normie guides, because I think it's more like just casual players, of which there are a ton of casual players who play Blue Archive who like aren't going crazy with like running Insane. It's actually been super cool on the Discord to see people like sharing their different strategies for Insane and things like that, because like, I don't know, I think that's cool. It's hard content, but it can be very rewarding if you do it. But yeah, so I guess the short version of my rambling there is that yes, at some point I would love to make content as far as event guides, raid guides, and then actually have some streams where I can summon for students and play events on stream. So yeah, that is a yes, no, Yumi's casual guide for those who enjoy the game without being sweaty. And here's the thing, I have heard of a lot of competitive players who still check out my videos. Like, God knows, a bunch of you are in chat right now. So I appreciate you all still coming and checking out this stuff. It means a lot. It also feels really awesome to see other max level players that are doing stuff. So, and also as far as who I pull for, it kind of depends. I feel like it's nice because Bear and I can kind of split the difference. So Bear tends to pull for meta characters, which benefits me greatly. I feel like I stumble into meta characters. I tend to pull for characters who I like a lot. That is generally how I roll. So picking up Hoshino, I know that she's a meta pick, but I also really liked her a lot, and rolling on her banner was quite good. So I would say pull for who you like. There are a lot of characters who are meta, but like, holy cow, if you invest in like almost any character in this game, you're gonna have a great time. So yeah, I think it's quite good. I'm trying to think if this was the last Blue Archive question. It might have been. I think I covered a lot of it in the last couple of slides, so. Yep, all right. So the next question was from Uematsu, who unfortunately couldn't make it to the stream today, but they sent in a question. Will we maybe see a guest appearance of Bear in the future? The stories and the way you talk about Bear in Chibinoko is super adorable. This is such a sweet question. I actually went and asked Bear about this afterwards because I don't know. I'm always happy to have him come and hang out, but he also has a full-time job, so he is also busy. Not to mention, I tend to like doing like the talking and streaming thing a lot more, but he was really sweet and he was saying that, yeah, he'd be happy to come by for short cameos. Especially he's my math and tech guy, so whenever I've had math things, he has helped me to make sure that I'm doing all the calculations right and just double check my work on stuff. So yeah, plus for, I think, my debut video, I ended up making a whole like 2D model for him, so it doesn't move or anything, but if need be, it could be used in a pinch. So yeah, I'm really glad that you all enjoy listening to me talk about this stuff. I think that's awesome. He's super important in my life, so it didn't feel right to not talk about him, you know? So it's nice to hear that you all enjoy listening to my stories, so. Yeah, no, the hairstyle I have for him, oh god, no. If I see Dojin, oh boy, I haven't seen too much fan art so far, which that is not a request for fan art, just like a general thing, but yeah, no, I wanted to like kind of lean into his polar bearness because the dude is entirely too tall. It's kind of dumb, so I want some of that height for myself. I am quite jealous. I am a very short person, so yeah, he is, I think he's almost 2 meters. He is 6'5", so he's got like a foot plus on me, which, yeah, I don't know, man, it's too tall. I feel bad. There's certain places we go and he'll hit his head on things and I feel so bad. I do not have this problem, thankfully, so I'm able to just kind of slither around and be all right, so that's good. But yeah, no, he's 2 meters. It's kind of nuts. His sister is also almost 2 meters, which is dumb. When I go visit his family for the holidays, I'm just like, I'm surrounded by giants. Oh. But yeah, I am, I think on the dot 160 centimeters, so I am 5'3". Just barely 5'3". So I was not blessed with the tall. As kind of a side note, I've had some conversations with some doctors about that because the snake people that I come from are not as short as I am. I'm not like that much shorter, but I am pretty substantially shorter. So he does actually call me a hobbit sometimes. This jerk. Being all tall and stuff. It's absurd. It's not fair. It's actually kind of funny because when we go places, because I'm more at like, because he's really tall. He towers over a lot of people. And most of the time, like people like service staff and things will just look down at me if they need anything. They're just like, I'm not going to crane my head up to look at him. So, but yeah, no, the sad truth is that the conclusion that the doctors and I have come to since I've been out of the underground is that I was somewhat malnourished as a child. I have made up for that quite a bit since I've been on the surface, but Yeah, the only person in my lineage who was as short as me lived in starvation war times, so that's fun. Not a big fan of that. But yeah, I'm doing much better now that I'm on the surface. Food is good. Food is very good. But yeah, anyway, I'm sorry. I don't mean for that to get kind of sad there, but it's happy because I'm eating food now. It's very good. Food is tasty. But yeah, anyway, moving on. Oh, this was a very hard question. Someone asked if I could reincarnate to any isekai right now, which would it be? And thank you all. That's extremely, I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, not having enough nutrients is kind of insane. Like, you can really see it if you compare worldwide height averages over even just the last 50 years. Like, countries who have had significant improvements in nutrition have done a lot better. But yeah, no, it's... Yeah, no, Bear makes really good food. I am so happy. I feel very lucky that I found him. I'm very glad. He makes extremely tasty food and I get to have it, so that has worked out pretty well. But yeah, so this was very difficult because here's the thing. Of all the isekai that I like, most of them are very bad places to live. I kind of feel like isekai is a bit of a lie, insofar as it's supposed to be catharsis, where it's like, hey, there's some sort of like bad situation that the main character is in, but then they get reincarnated to another world and they get to have a second chance at life. But the issue is that, like, part of the catharsis for a lot of isekai is that in order to, like, make the main character feel better about their situation, they often tend to replicate, like, the bad the bad situations that they were in the last world, but, like, make it so that the character is on top. So, like, a lot of the worlds of these characters are still pretty bad places to live. Here's the thing. So Konosuba, if you think about it, the characters are very fun and it's a lot more relaxing than other places, but it's actually, like, all of them work for, like, starvation wages and they have to go and risk their lives all the time fighting monsters. And yeah, the Demon King and their army is, like, relatively chill, but they cause problems sometimes. So I don't know. It's kind of surprising. It's kind of hard to find isekai that are actually good places to live. So I thought really hard, and especially because this question was kind of about, like, stuff that's currently out this season. What I ended up going with, it's cheating a little bit. It is technically an isekai because they are technically going to another world, but it's kind of more like world hopping. But it would be Iruma-kun. I feel like getting isekai to the world of Iruma-kun would be super fantastic, especially since I have a lot of affinity for Iruma as a character. I really feel like they did a very good job of showing someone who, like, tries to be very helpful and kind to others, but was raised in a very bad situation, and, like, them coming to terms with that and making friends and just living a better life. So I would really like to, I think that this would be a good place to reincarnate. I feel like it would be a fun place to get to know people. And also it kind of feels like there's very few, like, objectively bad people in Iruma-kun. Like, most of them end up being, like, good but misunderstood people. And even if there are, like, villains in the story, like, it feels like they're able to come together to, I don't know, to deal with situations that come up. So, it's good. Then, as far as if I could pick an isekai that's not currently airing, I would definitely pick Slime 300. It is super adorable. I actually, when I was working a really grueling job, I would, like, on my breaks go and read this, and it would just make me so happy. It was kind of like my idea of, like, good catharsis in isekai, where, like, you do end up in a world that is really nice. There's very little, like, issues with like demon lords running around causing problems. It's just a very nice story that I like a lot. Also, the anime was pretty cute, but I read the light novel primarily when I was checking it out. So yeah, I think that would be a pretty decent world to reincarnate in. Plus, I don't know, I figure like Bear and I could reincarnate, have this nice little place, get to know the people in the town. I feel like it'd be nice. I feel like it'd be good. So I got a question about if I'm open to trying out Sandbox games like Minecraft on the channel. I definitely am, but this is going to age me a little bit. I have never played Minecraft before, which is kind of insane. But I am definitely open to learning it. I have played a ton of other relaxing farming and like village building games. And because I've played a lot of those, I would be happy to play those and like share my knowledge on them on stream. Heresy detected. Oh man. But yeah, I have watched a lot of people play Minecraft. It seems super fun. Honestly, I wish that it was more easy for independent streamers to play Animal Crossing, because I would play like that all the time on stream. But there's a lot of really tricky Nintendo permissions. That's kind of one of those game companies that it's very difficult to stream games, even if you work for a larger corporation. They tend to clamp down pretty hard on like how long you can play the game and then like how long your permissions last. So whereas these games, by and large, are indie games. I'd have to check Story of Seasons, but yeah, it's something that I would be able to play. But yeah, I would definitely be open to learning how to do Minecraft, because I think it would be good. Oh, who did I marry in Stardew Valley? Oh gosh, I think it was Leah who I ended up marrying. The art lady, if I'm remembering her name correctly. I also played as a woman, and I love how Stardew Valley actually lets you like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of those games just like force you to be straight, and it's kind of nice that like you don't have to be. So I don't know, I feel like it's super cool. I like that quite a bit. So yeah, 10 out of 10. Stardew Valley is a very good game. Harvest Moon and Story of Seasons is also very good. Yeah, no, it's some good stuff. But yeah, I had some other questions too that kind of tie into this nicely. So now that I've grown a community and reached over 1,000 subs, which is wild, is there anything you'd like to experience or take part in community-wise in the VTubing scene? And yeah, absolutely. As far as gaming collabs, it would be super fun to play a bunch of multiplayer games. So like Deep Rock Galactic is super fun. I'd have to look into permissions for that, because it sounds like some of the big corporate streamers had some issues. I'm not sure if that was just because like they didn't hear anything back and that it's okay to play, or if it would be rough. I don't want to get a copyright strike on my channel, so I'd have to look into some stuff. But honestly, Minecraft is kind of perfect for that, right? Especially if like someone knows more than me. I think that would be good. I could learn how Minecraft works, because it looks super cute. I have never played it before, and I don't know what I'm doing in it, but I feel like I could figure it out pretty easily. Besides that, I also would love to do like more game and anime deep dives, like particularly if I can actually get a hold of certain people to interview them, like get opinions from people. There's some videos that I have planned later where I want to talk about like really influential figures in the anime scene in particular. I think that would be super cool just to do that. So yeah. And then this is a thing to look forward to on the channel, especially since this is a passion project of mine. Some more creative things that I have planned down the line are some original stories on the channel. So more to come on that, because that would require a lot of legwork. I would be drawing some illustrations to go with it. I'd be coming up with a story and potentially It could be cool to get guest VAs for that, or just reach out to people for input on certain subject material. Truth be told, I probably would just be voice acting the whole thing, and then just get input from other people about story elements. So yeah, but look forward to that. As you all can tell, I like telling stories a lot from the Lore Archive videos. So they've got some original stories that I would love to write and share with you all. So yeah, look forward to that. I don't know if I want to make any promises on when that's going to be, because like right now it's like full speed ahead on the Blue Archive train, but yeah, at some point I think that'd be super cool to actually do. So look forward to that. I might have some like sneak peeks and things like that intermittently that I can show you all, like different characters and things like that. But yeah, I've spent a lot of time kind of running through the story. Like Bear is kind of my like go-to with like, hey, help me out with like, what do you think about this world building that I'm doing for stuff? So yeah. Anyway, that'll be something to come further down the line. Oh man. So this was a big question that I got. Who are my VTuber inspirations? So this slide alone probably took me the most time to make because I kept trying to like narrow stuff down. What I made for myself is I made a rule where I can only talk about 4 streamers from each like respective category. So I've got a couple of different streamers I'm going to talk about just as far as my inspirations. But man, there is a lot. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I am doing well here. That being said, let's do another drink break real quick. I've been talking a lot. All right, drink break is over. Oh, and I'm so glad that you just found the channel. I'm so glad that I really want to make a lot of my streams cozy, so that makes me happy to hear. That's awesome. Oh, and Deku, you know one of my VTuber inspirations, so let's hop into it. You guessed correctly. So I'm going to start with Hololive first. They were my first intro to VTubers, period. I mentioned this somewhat briefly before, but I found out about VTubers through Bear's sister, who is a really big fan of Gargura, and Bear's sister told me, hey, I think you would really like VTubers. You should go check them out. It's totally up your alley. So the first streamer I ever watched was Nino Mai Inanis, and I love her. She is amazing. She is, surprising no one, a professional artist as well. And she does a ton of really awesome art streams. She made all of her own emotes. She is just pretty incredible. Oh, and also, I know some of you don't watch VTubers, so I appreciate I appreciate you all hanging out while I kind of fangirl about them for a bit. You'll, at the very least, learn about a bunch of different VTubers through this slide. But yeah, Ina is amazing. She is a really great singer. She is super adorable. She is like the OG comfy, like corporate streamer. And I say corporate just because like Hololive and Niji Sanji and them are gigantic. They're super, super big. But yeah, Ina is super awesome. I also have really loved her gaming streams. It gave me a lot of confidence to try things like Hollow Knight. And it's also cool that she's into Monster Hunter, which is super awesome. So she also has a very unique character design. Insofar as being like a eldritch priestess. So I think it's cool. Like she's really leaned into that in a good way, and it looks fantastic. So besides that, it was very difficult to pick the next one, but it's gotta be Calliope Mori. This woman is a powerhouse. Like holy cow, you all. Calliope Mori is insane. She does so much work on her own to make original songs. She's a very funny, charming person. A lot of her like Zatsudan or just hangout streams are great. She just seems like a cool person. Not only that, but I really do feel like she has had a lot of like rough situations that she's had to deal with. Very, what I'm going to call unfortunate incidents with her fan base that she has resolved very well. Specifically, she is one of those people who doesn't care who she collabs with, whether they're male or female, and that caused some problems at first because fans were really upset that she was hanging out with not just like male VTubers, but like she actually went on Trash Taste and like is quite good friends with a lot of those guys. So I am super impressed with how she handled that and did a very good job of expressing that, hey, listen, I am my own person. I need you all to be on board with that. And if you're not, like, you should go and check out a different streamer. She is awesome, and I respect the hell out of her for that. I think that she is a really inspirational person, so yeah. And then Crazy Ollie from Hololive Indonesia is like, she's amazing. She puts in so much work into everything she does. She also has an avatar that she has just really like done such an amazing job with. I think that she has just really leaned into her role as a zombie, and she's just a perfect fit for the character. She's also someone who like just collabs with whoever she wants, which I think is great. She really led the way for like a lot of Hololive on like the women's side and Holo Stars on the male side collabing with each other. And she also just like knows a lot of people from other companies, so she just does a really good job of networking and just bringing everybody together. So I'm not gonna spoil too much, but don't you worry, Coco is on this list somewhere, just not in the Hololive section. So I love Coco a lot. It was very difficult to narrow this down to four people from Hololive. But yeah, something else that I really like about Ollie is that she is very, very dedicated to her fan base insofar as like, I feel like she's got a good relationship with a lot of them. She does a very good job of like maintaining like, I think the appropriate amount of distance for such a big entertainer, but like she has some, yeah, she has some very incredible fans who put in a lot of time and effort, and I feel like she appreciates that quite a bit, which is awesome. Like her very first anniversary stream, they made the most, oh, even just thinking about it, I get like a little teary-eyed. They did such an amazing job putting together an appreciation video for her, and like, I'm not saying this because I hate bringing this stuff up because I never want to make it seem like I want things like that. It's more like appreciating the way that another fan base like has come together, because I feel like it works really well for them. So, and yes, she is unapologetically, aggressively gay for a bunch of people she collabs with, and I think that is great. I don't know, she gives me some like crazy bi vibes. Maybe I'm just saying that as like a fellow bi person, but I don't know. I think that she is a super cool person, and I love watching her content. And then this one's a more recent one, but Vesper Noir on the Hololive English side for Holostars. He is, based on some of his stories, not that much older than me. Bear and I have done some calculations, and based on some of the anecdotes he has told that age pretty closely to how old he actually is, we are not that far off from him. So seeing him just like do his own thing and talk about the games he's passionate about and just enjoy streaming unapologetically as someone who's a little older, I think is great, because I feel like there's this really big stigma of older streamers in the community, particularly with something like Hololive and Niji Sanji, where there's kind of this idea of like being an idol to some extent. Like you kind of hear it when people go through their debuts of like, oh, I'm ageless, or I have lived forever, or things like that. And it's kind of like a coy way of trying not to talk about how old you are. But I really liked that Holostar's English just kind of threw that out the window, and they're just like, nah. Obviously, like, the ages that they give in their debuts are not exactly accurate. Like, I think all of them are a little, like, older or maybe younger than, like, some of the ages that they're given. But yeah, I actually almost put, he just debuted a month ago, but Shinri from the second wave of Holostars I think is also awesome. So yeah, so that's from Hololive, who I like. Moving on to Niji Sanji, Rosemi Lovelock was my like gateway into Niji Sanji, and she is just a bundle of joy. If you have never seen her intro video, I think it has over 1 million. I think it has over 1 million watches now on YouTube, and she is just delightful. It is super loopable. I listen to it all the time. It is super great. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, legit, most of the Hololive girls are in their late 20s and early 30s. I wish that it was more, like, culturally okay to say that, you know? Like, I was a little nervous, actually, like, stating that I was in my late 20s, but it's been fine. I feel like I didn't have any reason to be nervous about that, but there's kind of this idea of, like, oh, you're forever 17, which, like, hey, y'all, for some of you who are young, being in high school, at least from my experience, totally sucked. Like, high school was terrible. I don't know why they always make it seem like it's like the pinnacle of your life. Like, good God. It was so much better once you got to college and like being an adult and being able to have your own place. Oh my God, that's way better. I don't know. I'm one of the people who's like, screw high school. It's no good. Move on to the next part of your life. So, but yeah, anyway, Rosemi is awesome. She kind of makes it her mission to be extremely fun. She wants to make people smile as much as possible. So yes, until taxes come along. That's the worst part of being an adult, is having to deal with bills and taxes. But I have enjoyed having like your own place that you can decorate yourself, and it's nice. It's good. Ugh. Yep, no, agreed. Yeah, right? Like, being in your 30s, like, I don't know, I'm pretty quickly approaching that, and it's just kind of nice. Like, it's nice for people to just be kind of open about that. I think there's nothing wrong with it. Also from Niji Sanji, Pomu Rainpuff. She is from the first wave, and she is just, like, so hardworking when it comes to building up the community there. She came up with this fantastic catchy chant that you can sing during Diamond City Lights, which is kind of their big debut song. She did the craziest thing for their first anniversary all by herself. She commissioned and got printed some custom acrylic stands, and then she put them in a weather balloon and filmed that going up into space. And got all of the other Niji Sanji members to sing along to it, and then surprised them all with the footage at the end, and it was amazing. I think it's really, really cool. So, like, even if you don't check out her stuff, the video, it's called Virtual 2 Live, and it might be even, yeah, no, I think it is Virtual 2 Live as opposed to Virtual 2 Live. But yeah, no, her video that she made on that is amazing, with the weather balloon going up and hearing all of the Niji Sanji people singing together. It was really, really touching. I cried a lot when I first saw that. I thought that was incredible that she did that. So, yeah, and then one of the biggest, like, on the women's side with Niji Sanji is Selene Tatsuki. And here's the thing, she kind of brands herself as a toxic dragon, but like, she is one of the most caring, charming people. She does so much work to recognize her fans and to applaud them for all the things that they do, to properly compensate them for the things that they do. I am so impressed with how she manages to do all that. Plus her, she's a very good gamer. Very impressed whenever I watch her stuff. And she's very, very funny. So I look up to her a lot. I think she's super cool. And then finally, Millie Parfait even if you don't watch the whole debut, if you have not seen her like triple debut lore video, it is one of the most incredible things I have seen. She absolutely nailed it. Like, hit all aspects of like tragedy, comedy, and like everything together. She is super cool, very funny and irreverent. And I think she's just like an awesome person who cares a lot for her friends. When she recently had, I think it was her birthday stream, every single person who came on for her stream, she wrote something super nice about them to say, and she made a bunch of them very reasonably cry because she said such kind things to everyone. So it's super cool. I love these ladies. They're very awesome, and they work very hard to do what they do. Oh. And then finally, let's talk about more from the, I guess you can call it indie scene. So Pikami, she works for, it's kind of like an indie company called VOMS, and she is super funny. I really like, she's kind of one of the, I want to say like OG indie streamers. Like, she kind of knows everybody. Before and after they joined companies, she does a lot of streams with people. She's just a very wholesome person who does a lot of hard work just to bring everybody together. So yeah, I think she's super awesome. And yeah, so she's had like a couple of model updates, and she is like really unique in the way that she looks, and I think it's awesome. It's really inspirational to see someone like go for something slightly less conventional, and it's amazing. Her new model is insanely adorable. Like, I can't get enough of it. It's so good. Then moving on, I'm going to go like up and down this time. So Romola, she is an independent fighting game VTuber, and she is amazing. I love her. She is extremely good. She actually is a professional player. Like, she did a lot of professional fighting game tournaments and has won a bunch of them. She used to go by the name of Deb, D-E-B, and now she goes by Romola. She does a lot of Guilty Gear games, but she is a very good player and can play a lot of other things too. So I found her really inspirational. She does a lot of really good fighting game content that gets uploaded to YouTube as well. So if you ever want to words are hard. If you ever want to improve at fighting games, I would highly suggest checking out her stuff. As a side note, I also really respect how like some of her community gets a little bit like some of the fan art that's drawn for her is definitely like they lean into like her being a cow, but like I feel like that never spills into her streams, which is really nice. And for me in particular, like I really didn't want to have a community that was like some other big streamers. Like, I wanted it to be comfy for everybody, but I didn't want to be objectified, if that kind of makes sense. And it was really nice because I feel like her community strikes a really nice balance of that. And so that was kind of one of the last like things that convinced me of like, all right, I can do this. Like, I'm gonna try this VTubing thing. So yeah, thanks for coming by. I appreciate you stopping by. And then let's talk about Kason. So Kason is an absolute inspiration. So she hasn't explicitly stated this on stream, but she has alluded to it heavily, and it's kind of an open secret, but she used to be a very big VTuber who worked for the corporate entity that is shown here. But yeah, her entire journey from that to where she is now, I think is really cool. It also kind of helped to show some of the inner workings of some of these corporate spaces. Like, she felt really restricted by what she could do within there, and felt like there was not a lot of support when she was being harassed for things that she had said, which was literally kind of insane. She just mentioned the existence of a country and continued to be harassed for many months afterwards, which is completely ridiculous. And she did not get a lot of support. It has been publicly stated that the company that she worked for regrets that they did not support her as much through that, because it was kind of a new thing that they weren't really sure how to tackle. But I think that she is like in a better place for it, because now she's part of VShojo and she is incredible. She's very funny. She actually sometimes streams with her real face too, which like, I don't know, that's a lot of courage to do that. No. No. I think part of the joy of VTubing is like getting to have your own fun avatar, but it's kind of funny, like her like avatar face looks a lot like her real face too, which I feel like they kind of nailed it with that. But yeah, no kidding. Without her, I don't think we would be, because she really helped to bridge the gap with the English-speaking audience, because VTubers were really a Japanese-only thing for a long time. Yeah, exactly. She was originally Kason. She joined Big Corporation, and then she returned to being Kason. So, and I think it's been great. She's been doing really well and enjoying herself. So I think that is awesome. Yeah, no, I lost it when she came out in full cosplay at her event. She just commits so hard. It's amazing. It's so good. Oh my God, she's amazing. I love her. And then finally, this list would not be complete without Iron Mouse. Iron Mouse is legit absolutely inspiring. She has a pretty debilitating condition called CVID. I think it's common variable immunodeficiency. So she has a really big risk of getting pretty horribly sick all the time. And yet she has become one of the most popular VTubers, period. Like, not just in the indie sphere, but like I saw a recent, I think it was like a compilation of like the most watched VTubers, and like she is up there with some of the most watched HoloLive VTubers. It's insane. Like, she is really, really impressive. She's come really far. VTubing, I think, has allowed her to like get access to better medication where she's at. So she's also doing a lot better with her health. And she's just a really cool person. I think it's awesome that she's been able to get where she is. And she's also kind of like the founding face of VShojo. So yeah, she is awesome. This is obviously not a comprehensive list. There's a lot of people I couldn't include here, but these are like some of my biggest inspirations in the VTubing space. So the same person asked a couple of questions. So that was the first question. This is the second part, which was, how long do you see yourself creating content? Which, as long as it continues to be fun, and so far it has been. This entire channel is just like a really fun creative endeavor for me. So it's nice just to be able to actually make fun things that I want and share with you all. So yeah, I don't foresee that changing. So I'm just gonna keep on making this stuff. Would you consider applying for an agency someday or going full-time streaming? Oh my gosh, that is a hard-hitting question. It's also very flattering that you think that I would have a shot at something like that. I appreciate that quite a bit. Obviously, the answer would be yes to part of that, but there's some things that have to be considered. So I figured I'd talk a little bit about agencies, because I feel like it's a helpful thing just for you to learn about different agencies and how they work, and also kind of my thoughts about the matter. I'm still relatively small, so like I don't think that this is going to be a thing I have to think about really for a while, but like I think it's still worth talking about. So yeah, let's talk about agencies. So here's the thing. I really love this model that I've made for myself, and I've loved building the community from the ground up. And I would have to give that up if I joined something like HoloLive and Nijisanji. The way that those agencies work is that they have pre-prepared models that they are having people audition for, essentially. So they're trying to pick people who they feel best fit the models. And you obviously start out with a much much bigger fan base, that it feels like it's a little harder to like craft things, you know, the way that you want to. It feels like there's certain expectations of you as large VTubers, and it would make me really sad to have to give this up. Plus, they would make me have legs, and I don't know about that, fam. I don't know. I don't know how legs work. Legs, I got this tail. That is extremely sweet of you to say, though. I really appreciate that. It's definitely something that's crossed my mind. Like, I have thought about it, but like right now, the answer is that I really like this current model. And I really like I like being a snake. It's very good. I like it quite a bit. Also, kind of more on like the real talk things. Some members of those fan bases are very thorough on researching new talents, and it would not go over well that I am married. I think that for Niji Sanji, that would be a lot more okay, but like, I think it's not the most realistic to think about for Hololive. I love the Hololive community, but they are an idol company through and through. I do not think that Hololive the company would care. I think that some of the fan base would care. So, yep. Oh, that feels like a bit of a no-go for me. But, yeah, I just like, I feel like I would constantly get stuff about it. So that would be kind of annoying. I don't know. Plus, I don't really like to feed into, like, I guess, fan service like that. Like, I want to treat you all like awesome people. And, like, I don't feel like... I feel like there's some expectation of doing some of that. Obviously, not always the case. But, like, yeah. Anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on that. But, yeah, no. Hololive Indonesia does seem super chill with that. But, I have no idea. Oh, yep. But anyway, so are agencies completely out of the question? No, not necessarily. There actually are a bunch of independent agencies that would let you keep your current avatar, which is kind of ideal, right? Like, if I could keep this current avatar and do stuff, that'd be great. Oh, Soundry, you nailed it. That was exactly I hope in my heart of hearts that if VOMS ends up having an international, I would apply for that in a heartbeat. VOMS is the thing that Pikami is a part of, and like I kind of feel like I would be a good fit. They have a lot of like monster girls and aliens and stuff who are a part of their brand, and that would be dope. I feel like I would be pretty alright there, but the other thing to consider is that, at least right now, I'm a bit of an atypical VTuber in that I make a lot of long pre-recorded content, but I do stream. And obviously, if I was doing it full time, like, I would just stream more, right? Like 2 or 3 times a week, which would be totally fine. I think that's the requirement for Kawa Entertainment. They end up asking just that you stream 6 hours a week, which would be like 2-3 hour streams or something. Minimum, and that's totally achievable. I mean, all my streams so far have been 3 hours, so and then V Shoujo is like the big independent one, but I try to be realistic with myself because it is very difficult to get into an agency, period. Even recently, Kawa, like right as I was debuting, they opened up applications for people to join, and they got like 2,400 applications. Like, good God, there is a lot of competition for this stuff. So at the moment, I'm not really like thinking of that happening for a while, if it does happen. But yeah, no, it's definitely like if they open up auditions, I mean, like, there's no reason for me not to try it, right? So anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on that. So that kind of leaves the question open as far as like, what about full-time content creation, but like independent of an agency? It is definitely the dream. It would be super cool. I think there's some benefits to being parts of agencies because they can help support you if there's ever any issues with channels, or for me personally, I like the idea of being able to get more permissions for games. yeah, no, it would be good. But I'm still pretty small. It would need to be financially viable for me to do so. And obviously right now that is not the case. It probably won't be for a while. I've kind of run some of the numbers, and like based on a lot of different factors, it would be something I would think about more as I get many more subscribers, if that becomes the case. So, but yeah, kind of regardless of that, I'm gonna keep making fun content on the channel and sharing my favorite things with you all. So yeah, this channel is my passion project, and I think that it's super cool. I love continuing to make stuff, so yeah. As far as like the stuff that I've got planned for this year, I do have tons of lore archive videos that I've got in the works. So I talked about this a little bit earlier, but Eden Treaty is next on the list. Then we've got SRT, and then by the time I'm done with SRT, the Game Development Club should have its next like chapters released, so I can cover that at that point. And if it reaches global this year, it'd be awesome to cover the final volumes. I think that would be awesome. And then I've actually already got some stuff prepared for this, but some drawing streams and tutorials. I'm pretty passionate about doing art, so I've actually got some footage prepared already that I can share with you all for that. So yeah, definitely look forward to that. And then just a bunch more gaming and chatting streams just like this. So these have been really easy to set up, and it's been really awesome to do with you all. So yeah, I have enjoyed doing this quite a bit. Something else that I didn't put here is that at some point I think it'd be super cool to release like a cover on the channel. I've been kind of cautiously looking over other covers that other VTubers have made independently to see what different songs are okay to use, and have to do some testing on that. But I do really like to sing a lot, so I think it would be fun to do that. Karaoke stream is something that I would love to do, but that's going to require some more legwork, since it would be multiple songs. I've got to do a lot of testing with that, and I would hate for it to be unarchived, but like, yeah, I'll figure that out. I'll get in touch with you all on that. So. But yeah, no, so that's some of the plans that I've got for this year. And yeah, seriously, thank you all for your incredible support. This has been super awesome. I legit thought I was just gonna have like maximum like 10 subscribers on the channel, and then when that number started going up, I'm like, all right, it's just gonna be 50. That's it. People are gonna occasionally tune in to listen to me ramble about video games I like and Blue Archive and like other stuff. But yeah. Oh Jesus, that's a super chat. Oh, that's right, I have those now. Let's go. Hi Yumi, just stopping by to say thank you for all the Blue Archive content and looking forward to more. Oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by. That's super nice. Oh, that's great. Thank you all. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, you all have been awesome. Thank you all so much. It has been super cool just making stuff on the channel. Video editing and like storytelling has been something that I have liked in a lot of my life, but I felt like I didn't really have an outlet for it. I did a lot of illustrations online for a really long time. If you check out my Pixiv, I've just got like years and years of like fan art there. You can even see some of my early stuff from when I first came on the surface and was trying to figure out my tablet, and some of those still look okay. Some of them are kind of meh, but you know, it's cool. You can see the progression of my art over time, but yeah, no, I'm so glad that you all like the Blue Archive content. I'm glad that y'all have been so awesome. Like, seriously, I am so happy with how stuff has gone. And yeah, no, the Discord has been nuts. I'm so happy I set that up. I was pretty nervous about doing it because I'm a bit of a boomer and I didn't know the most about Discord, but I did a ton of research ahead of time just to try and figure out how it works, what bots I would need, how to do good moderation stuff so that you all feel safe and cozy there. And yeah, no, it's been pretty good. So, and thank you. I'm really glad. Yeah, no, drawing is a lot of fun. I enjoy it quite a bit. So I'd love to like share some of the tips I've got. I think the biggest thing about drawing is that like everyone's style is going to be a little bit different. So like, I don't know, a lot of times the best thing you can do is just practice stuff, but I would still love to share at least some of the tips that I've got, right? Like, I don't know, I feel like I could do that. Yeah, you all are so active on the Discord community. It's awesome. It makes me really happy to see. I'll like pop on there just to see how everyone's doing and just to check on how like the server is looking. And I see you all like saying hi to each other and talking about games and sharing Blue Archive tips. And yeah, that's awesome. Ooh, thank you. Oh my God, is that an animated sticker? That's so cute. So adorable. Oh. Yeah, no, it has been a lot of hard work. That is definitely true. But yeah, thank you all for like giving me a chance just to hang out and share my favorite things. That was the last slide, so I think what I'll do is probably just pop back over to the chatting screen here. Oh my word. Oh, and if you're wondering which Blue Archive character is my favorite, definitely check out this video later. You will be able to see, I made a couple of slides about my favorite characters, so I'll timestamp this video after the fact, so you can check that out and see what stuff you like, so yeah. Chiminoko Bina mod 1. Oh god, that made me laugh. Oh, can you imagine, instead of the big mechanical like coming out of the ground, it's just Chibi-no-ko like, oh, hello there, I'm in my little sweater. Oh, that's so weird. My little notification thing got so small. I don't know. You all are helping me to test this stuff live. I have a bunch of different like things that I've done with stream elements, and it's kind of hard when I'm testing it on my own. So thank you for the super chat, Fab. I appreciate that. Hina supremacy, indeed. Hina is absolutely fantastic. Oh, good. Yes. Yay. Good. Yes, there was a he for my voice. The alerts that I have for super chats are they rotate between Hifumi, Serika, and Ui. All saying thank you in some capacity. So yeah, and yeah, thank you. That was kind of nuts. Like the requirements to become monetized are they're not like, they're a little steep. You have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, which is actually a lot. 4,000 watch hours is kind of crazy. But yeah, I hit 1,000 subscribers and then I immediately got a notification from YouTube being like, hey, you can be monetized now. And I'm like, wait, people have watched 4,000 hours? What? That's a lot though. Are you sure? But yeah, no, thank you all. I'm really glad that you've been enjoying the videos. I kind of feel like every time I log into YouTube, it ends up being kind of nuts with my notifications. Yeah, have a good, I hope that the rest of your shift goes well. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I'm glad that you all enjoy coming to hang out for the comfy streams. As a side note, it's kind of fun. The stream background that I've got here, I'll change throughout the season. So it's got the winter one right now, but I've got different ones that I'll be able to use as it gets warmer. I don't know. It's been entirely too cold where I've been living recently. It's finally gotten a little warmer. It's like finally above 0 degrees Celsius, which is great. It has not been that way for a while, so the snow is finally melting, which is amazing. But I hope that you all are staying well all over the world. I know, especially if you drop down below the equator, it's actually quite warm where you all are at, so and yeah, no, it is gonna be a journey, but I appreciate you all hanging out. It has been super fun just getting to make videos and streams, and I keep coming up with like new ideas for things that I want to do and being like, okay, I gotta plan this out. I can't do this immediately. I gotta put this on the back burner for later. But yeah, I don't have too much else to talk about besides that, but thank you all for hanging out with me. It's been super awesome. I will, obviously this will go up as a VOD after the fact, so, for anyone, Isaac Bareback Repair Fund, oh my word, I appreciate that, thank you. Oh no, no, I gotta figure out stream elements. Oh, there it is. Okay, it finally popped up. Good. Alrighty. That's good. That's excellent. But yeah, no, thank you all for stopping by. I super appreciate it. Please be well, take care of yourselves. As always, it's still the winter time, so there's the flu and COVID and all other sorts of things that are still making their way all over the place. So please be safe. Take care of yourselves. And yeah, I will keep you all up to date with how everything is going with the Eden Treaty Lore Archive video. I'm just going to be hard at work with that for the rest of the month here. If I end up having any time to have another stream, I'll let you know, but I kind of want to like just dedicate as much time as possible to making this video because it is a lot. So yeah, thank you. It's got it. Oh, yeah. You all have been a treat. Thanks for hanging out with me. It has been a very nice start to my Saturday, so I hope that you all are doing well. And yes, I will definitely ping you, Teak, if I need anything. I've been reading a bunch of the lore stuff from you all, so yeah, it's good. See to you later. I like that a lot. Oh yeah, the Discord, I named it Tsuchitomo. Because Tomo is kind of like, it's a particle that you can use to represent like acquaintances or friendship, and I really liked that. So like Ina's community are called Tomodachi, which is Takodachi, which is very cute. Because Tomodachi is like the term itself, but you can actually break up the Tomo and the Dachi part just to put on there. So I did Tsuchitomo, which was cute. So yeah, I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Take care of yourselves, and you'll see me on the Discord and on YouTube community pages and Twitter, and I'll check in with you all as I'm working on stuff. So yeah, you all have a good rest of your day. I'll talk with you more soon. Bye.